Still watching Prime Morning, and it's time for us to delve into what the newspapers have for us. Our guests are seated, and we know this conversation is definitely going to be interesting. We need you to join us, so do send in your messages to us, and of course, we would love to read it. Now, Big Chef is back again, and so if you have a young child out there, we need you to tell your child to tune in. We have already selected our contestants for this season, and I cannot wait to see what they have for us. It will be airing every Sunday at 5 p.m. So do not miss out on it. It's a very beautiful program that teaches you more culinary skills. And so tune in every Sunday at 5 p.m. And of course, the Black History Month as well right here on Multimedia. We'll be bringing you a series of it and tell you more about Black History Month. Like I told you earlier, our guests are seated, and I can't wait to introduce them to you. To my immediate left is the man who eats and drinks PNC. His name is Bernard Morna. Good morning, Bernard.
Morning, dear.
How are you today?
I am looking good because you are looking good.
Oh, thank you so much. You're looking good, though. Yes.
I had to do this in order to, shatter Abel's interest.
All right, so in the middle seat is Honorable Evidence Zanate. Hello, Honorable.
Rosalind,
how are you?
God is still blessing me.
We thank God. You're looking young.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
He's a small boy.
Because in as much as I'm a small boy, I'm also taking good care of myself. The only thing I'm praying is that my stomach will not be big.
It won't be.
No, he should come to the horse riding course.
But the person you are even I was just asking him whether this weekend he was at the place. Because every weekend you go without even informing your campaign manager. Sometimes people will call me, where is your candidate? I don't know where he is. And it's not good.
It's not good.
It's not good.
When you see the elephant and the coconut, you should be sure that one day the elephant can push the coconut. So you have to be circumspect of where you are going and where you tell him.
No, when you see the elephant and the coconut, if you don't take it, it will tend to butterfly.
And representing the NDC this morning is Gideon Tete, NDC this morning, Esquire. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you, Esquire. Everything good?
So Monday, the NDC, they all want to bring lawyers, right? So you have to go to the law school.
Looks like. Let me quickly take what the newspapers have, and we talk about the role of media in elections, and it's very important because today we are launching our headquarters, and it's all about elections headquarters, right here on Multimedia. So I'll start off with a Daily Graphic newspaper, and it reads, public sector salaries up by 23%. I think this is... Anyway, I want to be in the public sector now because I'm by 23%. I want to work there. Anyway, President Akufo-Addo pushes for Africa-wide mobile interoperability. Pharmacy Council declares war on unlicensed practitioners. GIDA rolls out major irrigation interventions for 2024. Afram plans others to create over 45,000 jobs. Ghana Post reaches out to customers, and I'll tell you how they are reaching out to customers. Quite interesting, though. The Ghanaian Publisher newspaper is the next newspaper. The informative legacy of Opong Nkrumah. FREMA charges Defense College equip students to sustain Ghana's peace. Mahama is a disgrace to Northerners, not Baumia. Akomia replies Fifi Kweti. And Savannah region will be a true battleground for 2024, says Abu Jinapo. The Ghanaian Times newspaper. Government releases 150 million Ghana cedis to contractors for road maintenance, and this was trending over the weekend. Ghana.gov revenue platform, government backs 210 billion Ghana cedis as revenue since introduction in 2020. Mobile money vendor, one other killed in robbery attack at Wale Wale. Wow, this is not something we want to hear. NEDCO probes 3,000 illegal meters in Sunyani to crack down on perpetrators. And the final newspaper is a Daily Guide newspaper. Ghana Post to distribute 1 million chocolates. Now, I told you how they are going to reach out to their customers. They are going to distribute 1 million chocolates. For what, though? For what? Who's going to eat the chocolate? And the chocolate is for what? How much is in that budget of chocolates? Well, Baumia unveils campaign team today. NDC Fifi Kwete under fire. And the banner headline, AU Summit, Nana calls for single mobile platform. And there's another story that says 2 arrested over Momo vendors murder. And I think I did read a little bit about it earlier. So these are what the stories, the newspapers are reporting. However, today on the show, we are delving more into the role of media during elections. Now, let me quickly give you some statistics. And this was done by Mr. Osai Kwapong. And it reads, in most recent round, that is 2022, round 9 of the Afrobarometer survey, 53% of Ghanaians said they turn to radio every day for news. 48% said television. 30% said social media such as Facebook, Twitter, WhatsApp, etc. Only 3% said they turn to print newspapers for news, meaning that it's really important that we launch our elections headquarters right here on multimedia. However, during Newsflash, we are also delving into that, the role of media during elections. I know these gentlemen also don't take media for granted at all, because they wake up every morning to be on our platform to share every single detail we need to know with regards to what happens in the economy, and especially what is going to happen in the year 2024's elections, that is in December. I don't know if it will change to November, as there's been a proposed, November, but as of now, we know that it's still happening in December. So let me start this conversation with you, Bernard Mona.
Greetings to Gideon, Ebenezer, and to yourself, and to your many viewers. Let me still repeat that I am still shocked at what happened in Jirapa. I've been trying to overcome the agony of one of the most flourishing figures probably that grace surface Upper West, who has brought so much joy, excitement, hope, and employment to our teeming youth. The murder of Eric Johnson is not just his person that has died. It is that probably the entire North has suffered a major setback in terms of business promotion and ideas. I have still been asking, and yesterday whilst I was at my morning exercises at the prison headquarters, one of the officers asked, so what else do you people want? And I had to leave the court and to sit and to reflect and to ask, what else do we want? I think that the perpetrators to be found. I'm excited that the MP has played 100,000 Ghana cedis as bounty for whoever is able to inform of who killed him. But this arrest of locals alone, I don't think it's sufficient.
I think it's beyond the locals.
I think it's beyond the locals. Whilst I cannot extricate any local involvement, the professionalism with which this was executed cannot just be taken lightly. And so that calls to question, how do we all take our security?
Yeah.
And so it's important that we take our security seriously. Of course, death, no one should run away from death. It will come, but not in this horrific manner. I'm unable to still get over it. I don't know whether you visited the place.
No, I didn't. I didn't get the opportunity.
I'm sure you should still have the chance to visit.
I will.
And then you will see what a great loss it is for humanity. Having said that, we're talking about the role of the media in democracy and in transforming elections in our country. Kwame Nkrumah once said, that the power of the media to do good is great. But this power to do bad is even enormous. That is, if the media decide to do their role very well, society can benefit enormously in everything. The media, whilst we have the state ones and we have the private ones, they are supposed to be independent in their dealings. The media is not supposed to be corrupt. The media should be availed with resources to be able to do its work without necessarily having to seek favor from anybody or any institution. However, media in our part of the world are the most disadvantaged when it comes to remuneration, particularly the privately owned media houses. So you go to some, I call them mushroom media houses. They form a media house. They are unable to pay their workers. Yet the workers have to survive. And so you see these workers having to look for stories. Eventually, it's like a blackmail. This is the story I have of you. I'm going to town with it. Then you have to come and plead before that story is dropped. And so the media in this regard is aiding in the destruction of our society. And so for me, the critical role and the center stage of media is such that whatever it has to take the state, once the state begins to grant licenses for individuals to venture into this enterprise, the state must also take interest in how they are paid. I see this morning you are excited about some percentage increase for public sector workers.
Yeah, the 23%.
And you are asking, when are you also going to get that same percentage?
Oh, increase? No, I didn't ask.
No, I'm not saying that you asked. Of course you didn't.
Right.
But you're saying that you may join the public sector. And I'm sure that anybody, if you were earning 1,000 cedis, right, and then there is a 20% or 23% increase, what does that mean? That you are going to get 2,230.
Yeah.
Right? So who will not be excited about it? Is this one that the public sector is going to see, is it going to reflect in private sector wage increases? I hope you get my point.
Yes.
If it's not going to see a reflection in private sector wage increases, particularly for our media, then you see that some people will think that, hey, why don't we force ourselves? And that is how come that you have the likes of Osafo Mafo, who will come and tell us that the private sector is the engine of growth, the public sector is choked. And yet they can create opportunities within the public sector for the awards, whilst every other person is pushed to go and do NAPCO. So I think that the role of the media is very critical in the advancement of our democracy.
Right.
And I have to applaud also that without the media, our democracy will not have reached where we have. Despite the other side of it, without this media, we could not probably have returned to multi-party democracy in 1992.
Yeah.
Because it was not with pure willingness that Jerry Rawlings and the PNDC just returned the country to democracy.
It's funny, I was having this conversation this morning, and I was saying that I think that for Jerry Rawlings, he was quite surprised that, he lost in 1992.
Yeah.
Because he didn't see it coming, and media played a very vital role.
Significant.
Because media releases the results, and there's nothing you can do about it. So you have to step down. Yeah. So let me come to you.
That is in 2000.
Yeah.
No, that was in 2000.
2000 when President Kufuor
came over, yes.
And then
that
of
was
course,
2000,
yeah. So I think that the media has played critical role. They have monitored at the micro levels. They have given results from the forgotten parts of the world. Sometimes the media will go and sleep rough in order just to scoop the stories. And then these stories then become national news. So in an election year like this, it is critical that you take center stage in the work that you want to do. And I think that if the way I look at the way you are planning this, you become the topmost election command center in our media landscape.
Thank you so much. We are actually the election headquarters. And when we talk about it, we say it with pride. You know, we've been doing this for God knows how long. And nobody can overtake us. Nobody. We say it with all authority. On Zoom, Mr. John Osai-Kwapong is joining us. Mr. John Osai-Kwapong, we know you are on Zoom. We are struggling a little bit with some technical, difficulties. But
he's a brilliant man. He should try to be in the studio.
We'll try and get him into the studio very soon. So, Mr. Kwapong will join you very, very soon. But let me come to you, Ebenezer. Your take on it.
Let me say good morning to our viewers and to my colleagues here. Just as Bernard started with a sad note, I think on Wednesday, the Vows Day, your sister station, or let me say your colleagues from the other station, or mine, the Ken City Media, also lost a very respectable, very giant personality, Kobna Kwache, as we all called him.
Huh?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, you didn't know?
No.
It's also related to Reverend Yahoo Swansa. And I want to take the opportunity to say condolence to the family and the Ken City Media, Japan, and then the staff. And the members of Resurrection Power and New Generation. It's a great loss to the station and to some of us. Some of us were so much into the media through his efforts. When I contested the 2012, is the one that will be inviting you to this, introducing you to the media circle before other stations will be looking at you and also invited you to their stations and their both radio and TV. So some of us is a great loss to us, but we pray to God that He will strengthen each one of us as we're prepared for other necessary things that we need to do for Him and give Him a befitting burial. The role of the media is very, very important. Elections, there are three main people who, for me, I see them to be bringing peace and also transparency in elections. One, the Electoral Commission. Two, the political parties. Three, the media.
Right.
You cannot do anything without the media. Inasmuch these three organizations have a role to play. The one that can also create much problem is the media. That is, if we are to give wrong information out there. Now we have print media, we have the electronic media, and then we have the social media. I can say that both the print and the electronic, the most dangerous one is the social media these days. Because many people will not get, as we are sitting here, somebody will be watching you on Facebook and get all the information. That he don't necessarily want to tune into Joy Prime to watch, but you can have access to it. Even after the show, the person can go on the social media, Facebook, and get whatever transpired this morning. So many people get the information on the social media. But what happens? Today, as I'm speaking with you, we have a lot of media houses in this country, a lot of them. In fact, recently we had a program at when we were having how do you call it, the presidential primaries. I was the agent for the vice president. After that, we have a lot of media stations or media, reports coming to interview you. And I was like, I asked some of them, and the names that they are mentioning, I have never and ever heard of these stations before.
Yeah, right now we have so many media houses.
So many of them.
Yeah, so many. We have over 100 media houses. Only
More
in
than
Accra.
100.
Only in Accra.
More than 100.
Yeah.
And some of the names that are so funny.
Yeah.
I was like, so how do these people get information, correct information to the people? The other problem that we also have in our hands is the political stations that we have, both TV and radio.
Yeah.
Now, almost all the political parties
have stations.
have a station.
Yeah.
If I say almost, it's not necessarily the political party itself, like NPP or NDC or CPP, but we have a state that belongs to a political person. We have somebody from the NPP have one, NDC have one. So then when the people sit there, instead of them to give a correct information. The last time I was on Adom, and one of your colleagues, Kwesi Nsiam, castigating against his own colleague from a different radio station, TV station, with the reason that he believed that the way the person was handling the thing, it can create a problem. So he criticized, look, we are all doing media work, but the way and manner you are doing is not good. And you even draw the attention of the owner of the station that, look, if this is how the people is going to do, it will not help. You see, sometimes credibility is also very important. There are some stations that people will not want to listen, all because of the host of the show. Or some people at the station. The way and manner they will come and be insulting people and be saying all manner of things, people will not even listen to it. Some of your colleagues, just as Bernard have said, I went to a station that I don't want to mention the name. Before we start the discussion, the host was complaining bitterly that for 11 good months, he has not been paid.
Oh, wow.
11 months. It's a very prominent station. 11 months.
Should I mention the name?
No.
Bernard, please.
Why?
No, don't mention.
They have not been paid. And honestly, I know a lot of people in that place that have left, all because they can't pay them. Such a media station, what do you expect from the reporter? What do you expect from the host? So if maybe Bernard goes to that station, or maybe I go to that station, and I can be giving him, and honestly, that day, the host was able to raise 4,000 cedi from the three of us that went there. Because the way he spoke, passionately, and was even the daughter or the son has been sacked from school and all.
Oh,
so when we finished, I was there, what is this man's name? Former Minister for Health, Segbefia, Nanaya's brother. So all of us were able to give him something. So in such situation, how do you expect the person to give you an accurate information?
He'll be biased.
There are some also.
But you see, let me ask you this. Before the banking crisis, most media houses were not facing what they are facing now. I was in a media house that was paying, it was regular. Then the banking crisis hits. Then all of a sudden, they couldn't pay salaries because they said they had invested monies in some of these banks that had been shut down. I moved to another media house that was facing the same challenge until I came to, another place that got better. So the banking crisis also contributed to it. We can't take it out, right?
Rosaline, before even the banking crisis, this is what is happening in this country. To be honest with you, even before and how many of the media houses have invested in the various banks? How many of them? It's because you are not putting things in the right perspective to get what you want. Honestly, many people would love to advertise on your station simply because of the way and manner you carried yourself. Irrespective of your relationship with myself, Bernard, when we say something which is wrong, you just put out on the right perspective that, look, do this. But in some cases, it is not like that. So the integrity and the respect is not there for those stations.
Okay.
To be honest and sincere with you. And then the host of some of the stations too are problematic. Instead of you to tell the person, and yesterday I was listening to Omai, and then somebody called in, and he said, oh, the reason why he respects the late Kobra Kwachi is that even though that the station belongs to Kennedy Japan, when he comes to the station and he says something that is not good, he always tells the master, withdraw. If you don't withdraw, I'll not let you continue. Mm-hmm. How many people will be able to say this to the owners of the stations? And how many of the owners will call the host that, look, don't come and destroy my business for me because of you belong to this party. Mm-hmm. Me left me alone. Before this election, I wish that, look, all the pro-political party stations need to be closed down. Because those are the people that will create the problem for us.
Right.
To be honest with you. Then it comes to the churches. Look, yesterday, when Brenda sent me the topic, I decided to tune into the stations that we have. If I got to a point, I lose counting. Because some of the stations that I was like, so all these stations exist. And then, unfortunately, I tuned into a station, and I don't know the kind of deliverance the pastor was doing, having a cane whipping the church members.
On TV.
In Ghana,
on TV.
In Ghana,
yes. I was shocked. I'll give you the station after.
And it's a media household.
I watched on TV. Wow. I was like, what is really happening? And you see, almost all the corresponding churches that we have, and this one-man churches, now every one of them have a TV station. Every one of them. Even those who do how do you call it? Sika Gari and those things, they all have a station.
I think they shut most of them down.
Look at the issue that happened at Kaswa. These young guys who said they want to buy Range Rover, and therefore they killed their age mates. It's all because they watch on telly. So the media have a very key role to play in this election. And to be honest with you, this is a very crucial election.
Very.
Very, very crucial election. An election whereby a government in power want to make an history by breaking an eight. An election whereby a former president want to come back again. An election whereby opposition have decided, look, we have had enough from both NDC and MPP, and we need a third force. So everybody's attention is going to be on election. So the little thing that we do, I can tell you, will create a lot of problem. If we don't take care and we'll be giving wrong information, if we don't take care and we'll take an entrenched position, or because as an MPP, and therefore let me tune it because I'm an MPP person, let me go by this way. Honestly, it will not help us. So for me, I believe that, yes, multimedia, nobody can take it away from you. Election headquarters, I've been monitoring from all your stations. And I know, apart from you, Joy Prime, I just saw CJ and ABY, they say they are going to, how do you call it, Obra Sport. So I know, and I know Asempa will be doing the same today. When it comes to elections, credibility from your end, there's no doubt about it. But you also need to talk to the other colleagues, because I know you have friends in the other media sector. You should be able to tell them that, look, Master, we don't have anywhere. I always tell people that, look, me sitting here, I don't have anywhere to go in case there's a problem in this country. Even in as much that I'm a Ghana, if you take me to Jamestown, I don't know how to swim. So if the unforeseen happened, and it's starting from Bernard's place, and I say I'm running to the sea, that's my end, and I can't go there too. So that means I have no choice than to surrender to there. So for me, I'm recommending you for the good work you are doing.
Thank you.
At Joy Prime and other stations of yours, and want to make a passionate appeal, not only to you, but to other media houses that, look, we have nowhere to go. There are some countries that there were war, there were fights because of the media reportage, the information you put out there. And the problem is that the information you put out, by the time you come back and say that, what I said is wrong, it is too late, because somebody will be sitting in a trotro he has gotten down. So that thing I already stick in the person's
I think
head.
one country in Africa had, it was it Rwanda?
Yeah, Rwanda.
Yeah, it was through the media that the war started. Let me come to you, Gideon. And Gideon, you know, one thing that wherever I go, I keep hearing is, oh, you, this station, you are now campaigning for this person, you are campaigning against this person. I remember in the year 2016, the NDC said multimedia campaigned heavily against the NDC. Now, the NPP is saying that multimedia is campaigning against the NPP. Let's talk about how, you know...
Oh, so you've been hearing it?
Yeah, I've been hearing it. I've been hearing it. I hear it a lot. Okay. A lot.
Eben is one of them.
So let's talk about, but for you at home, you can also join us on WhatsApp. Please send in your WhatsApp messages to us. Let's hear your voices this morning. Let's talk about, you know, how media can build a perception about a political party to viewers out there.
Well, thank you very much. Let me say good morning to your viewers. Apart from that, I mean, we always say that the media is the mirror of the society. If not for the media, we would not have heard that in the 2020 elections, 8 people were killed, including minors, thanks to the media. And of course, as we are up to now, we've not heard of any compensation, anything that has been done to get justice for these 8 people, including the 3 minors. Of course, unfortunate, and I still express my condolences to the family. In addition to the other, you know, parties that, you know, my senior brothers have expressed their condolences to, thanks to the media. And of course, we are still hoping that if this government does not do anything in terms of compensating the family, then His Excellency John Dramani Mahama has promised that he will do that, thanks to the media. And so my position is clear. The families of the 8 people that were killed during the 2020 elections, you see, and thanks to the media. If not for the media, we would not have even gotten to know the full details and their names and even their ages, and also the fact that there were 3 minors. Now, that's how much, how important the media is. And of course, we need to understand that going to these elections, the media is going to play a very key role. And if indeed a particular media house decides to publish figures, which is really not the reflection of what is on the ground or what the Electoral Commission has published, it's going to create confusion. I mean, years ago, just the recent election that passed, there was a media house that was publishing figures which was inconsistent with what were the real figures. It created a lot of, you know, confusion, because that particular media house is respectable one. And so the question was, where are you getting your figures from? And at that time, the Electoral Commission had not come out with the official figures. Political parties themselves had their own election room, and they knew the figures and what the media house. And so it was creating a lot of confusion. And so you could see that Ghanaians were watching that media house and detecting which political party was winning and which political party was losing. Obviously, depending on the political party that was winning or losing, you will see a certain position that no, it's like psychological, you know, position that trying to, you know, psych the minds of Ghanaians that this political party is losing or that political party is winning. Clearly, there was going to be, you know, a melee in terms of this thing. And so, of course, this multimedia, together with your colleague media houses under multimedia, have an impeccable record in terms of electioneering, you know, a reportage. And so we are expecting that, well, you take another step higher and make sure that indeed you are, you know, objective. You do not take the sides or allow your reporters to, you know, bring news that will not be favorable to a one political party to the other. Of course, we only have, as the tree will say, no credit bakope. And so once the truth is there, no matter how much a political party does not agree, you see objective minds saying that this is what it is. And so we must take it like that. But of course, as my senior brothers have said, definitely you have contacts with the other media houses. Now, the media houses are many, so many of them. And so once
Too many. Should we shut some down?
Well, you see, some of them are only interested in, if most of the time, if it's not movies, then it is these churches that are doing their stuff. But one of the things that can be very worrying is when you watch, TV, a media house, and all they are doing is I don't want to use the word juju or some concussions or whatever, but you would see that this is not something that should be shown on TV because of our children. And this is not the stations. Once your TV can have access to all the digital stations, you have access to all of them. And of course, I'm sure that these people, these colleague media houses, you have their contacts. And I think that they need to be spoken to. Some of them are a bit problematic. The words they use, the way and manner they say things on TV against a political party or the other, it's actually going to get people angry. And some people may take action out of provocation, because once you feel that the things being said about you are untrue, you would want to clear the air. And so that's why you see people taking it. But that alone this is also a good platform or opportunity to remind the National Media Commission they need to act in professionalism. It is not that once maybe a media house decides to take a certain position about this government, of course, everybody has the right to speak and criticize. And so once there are objective criticisms, this is not a time for the National Media Commission to warn or send a caution to the media house that this particular host should be sacked or what have you. That is not the way to go. As you said, if not for the media, Rawlings, the late Jerry Rawlings, would not have known that he was going to lose the 2000 election, thanks to the media. And so once media houses of today begin to criticize government objectively because they believe that one government promised to do A and they are doing Z, they have a right to criticize. The purpose of the criticism is to check government and do what the citizens want. And as I said, the media is the mirror of the society. What the people are feeling is what the media house will report. And so if there's hardship, excruciating hardship, and the media are coming out and saying, this is what is happening, there's corruption in all corners of this country, and the media is saying that, no, this is not what you promised, that is not the time for NMC to take a position and ask, a media house to sack one host or the other. If not, then the alliances is at stake. All these things are also ways that will cause people to feel that, no, you are not acting objectively. And so, yes, all hands should be on deck. The ordinary people, the ordinary citizens of this country, political parties, the media houses, the regulatory body of the media houses must all be part of this year's elections, making sure that we are all checking each other. And I think that since multimedia has set the pace already, I just hope that they maintain it, and that'll be it.
We'll definitely maintain it. Let's speak with our political analyst. I'm talking about Dr. John Osai-Kwapong. He's with CDD Ghana, and actually, Doc is joining us on phone. Initially it was Zoom, but unfortunately, due to some technicalities, we had to do phone. Hello, good morning, Doc.
Good morning, Rosemary.
How are you today?
I'm doing well. Yourself?
I'm doing fantastic. Now, Doc, I just want to read an article that you actually wrote, just the first paragraph. You said that the Afrobarometer survey says that 53% of Ghanaians say they actually tune into radio every day. 48% do television and 30% do social media, which is Facebook, Twitter, and WhatsApp. And you also said only 3% actually do the print newspapers. Now, let's talk about voter turnout and how media can actually do that. Because as of now, I'm hearing so many people say, I'm not going to vote. I'm tired of voting. When I vote, my vote will not do anything. Nothing changes. So what can media do with regards to voter turnout?
Thank you very much. So when it comes to voter turnout, I think for the media, their their role there is a sort of a civic education, civic engagement type of role, right? That highlights the importance of voting, the critical role of voting, why elections are important, in our democracy, in our governance system. But the media must do it in such a way that it is not seen as trying to encourage voting in a particular, in a particular direction. So for me, that education part and why it is important for citizens to vote is the way that the media can, try and address this issue of voter turnout. I mean, overall, our voter turnout rate is not that bad. I think the least voter turnout that we've had in our presidential and parliamentary elections is somewhere in the, in the 60s. We tend to have a much higher voter turnout in non-change elections versus change elections. I don't know why that is, but yes, the media can do that. If you look at NCC and they have a research they do every election year called Matters of Concern to the Ghanaian voter. And the question on what motivates you to vote, it's always civic, and it's my civic responsibility, always emerges as number one. So that is something that the media can highlight and continue to encourage Ghanaians, because elections do have consequences. Elections allows us to make, a choice on who we want to govern us and how we want them to govern us. And so that becomes an important role for the media to highlight that civic component of it.
Let me ask you this question again. For, the media houses that you mentioned, of course, you mentioned radio, you mentioned television, you mentioned social media, and also you mentioned the print media. Let's talk about the dynamics that they bring on board with regards to elections.
So let me put my answer, in a context. So this is in the lead up to the 2016 election. There was a particular media house that had an election program every day that sort of gave an update on what was happening. So CDD Ghana, we had just released our pre-election survey. There was a question on the survey that said, do you think that there will be some election violence? And quite a number of people had that concern. Now, when you disaggregate that result also by the various regions, the perception is very high in our north region. So on comes the program, on comes the presenter, and the presenter says, we are about to present, share with you some shocking results from a CDD survey that predicts that there is going to be violence, etc., etc. Now, I knew the presenter, so I quickly reached out and said, no, that's not what's saying, etc., etc. But that correction also didn't happen till the program was done, right? So whenever I think of that story, I say to myself, during election, right, the media has a critical role in the lead up, right? In the lead up to the election, there's an education piece where the media has to find a way of informing and educating voters on the issues that are emerging, right? So whatever the policy proposals are from a particular candidate, a particular political party, or the pre-election survey polls that are going to be done, the media has to educate citizens on what signals or what information is emanating from those things. But in doing that, the media has to provide fair coverage. Now, in a very partisan environment, fairness depends on, sometimes where a particular person is standing. But in general, the media has to also make sure that they are providing fair coverage of all of the issues that would emerge to dispel this notion that, there's some, the word I often see used in Ghanaian spaces is agenda setting. As though some media houses trying to tilt the election in a particular direction for a particular political party. So fair coverage is also important. But accuracy is also very important.
Are there any particular steps that these media houses can take in order to ensure that they are unbiased in their reportage?
Yes. So for me, it is that unbiased is being driven primarily by the facts, and the more partisan politics get, the more you also realize that even sometimes facts also become debatable. But for me, the media has a very important role in terms of they become these independent arbiters in our partisan conversations, right? So the facts have to drive the reporting, and the facts have to drive the fair coverage. So that if you have a political party representative, or if something is said as part of a campaign, right, where on record there are facts that show that it is inaccurate or not, I think the media has a responsibility, and also to voters, to ensure that that is corrected. And for me, in correcting that doesn't make a media bias. The thing you also have to keep in mind is if you keep correcting only one side of the political aisle, that can also create some of these biased perceptions. Okay. But for me, those facts, those incontrovertible facts, has to always drive the work that the media does. Balanced panels are also important. But you see, with balanced panels, it's not necessarily that because on every issue, then you just have to make sure that all the views of the various political parties or the divergent views are represented. In that way, there is a vigorous debate of all the various sides or dimensions on a given issue. So that for me is in the lead up to the election. But it is more critical what also happens then on the election day. Accurate reporting of all incidents, because on election day, our passions sometimes get the better part of us. And so you want to make sure that whatever story is emerging from what corner of the country, again, is being reported and reported accurately. Because with inaccurate reporting, by the time you get around to correct it, whatever damage that can be done would have already been done, and it becomes challenging to undo that damage. And then the result, the reporting of the result. I know that speed, but you have to balance speed with accuracy. You want to be, you don't want to be the station that is too quick to report a result that maybe it's not fully certified is untrue. So there's quite a bit for the media to chew on and position itself as the campaign begins to heat up and we draw closer and closer to election day.
Right. Dr. Sekwapon, thank you so much for speaking with us this morning. We are super grateful.
My pleasure.
Have a fantastic day. Bernard, there's one thing that we keep seeing, the polls. We take it back to 2016. Ben Efson was very vocal with polls. And he did say that John Dramani Mahama was going to retain the seat, but unfortunately he lost. It caused a lot of mayhem. People went to his house, some wanted to beat him and all of that. Is it okay for media houses to put out polls and keep telling us that this person could be the winner?
Well, you cannot stop anybody from his independent thoughts. And just as you can't stop anybody from dreaming. And so some people who discuss elections, actually, they wake up from their dreams and they see that somebody has won. There are the clergy who will come and stand at the pulpit and tell you that I've seen victory in this direction. Do you go beating them?
Will they be stopped now? IGP says they shouldn't do it.
I don't think so. I still hear it. I hear it so many times. I think that what the IGP probably has stopped is the prophecies about people dying and other things, but not on the elections and the outcomes. And so I've heard many.
No, elections too, they should not.
I have heard Nigel Gazel, I have heard Bedu Kobi, I have heard Alabaster, and many others. They have made their their predictions. I've heard Owusu Bempa. Obinim, I've not been hearing of him these days.
Sure he was humble.
He says he doesn't fly anymore. He doesn't turn into animals anymore. So.
So I hear all manner of things. I don't think that anyone, it is what you believe that should. But who are these pollsters? What is the qualification for somebody to be a pollster? What do you actually need? What informs the what is your sample size that you take to make the kind of predictions? Because I've been watching social media trolls, and you see that, hey, some people are paid and they are repeating and repeating, and before you realize, they'll tell you that this person is winning. The social media doesn't vote. Right? And so the vote is on the ground, the individuals. People don't get to interact. You sit on your phone, and then you are working. Oh, do you agree that which of these candidates do you think will win? Then I choose.
But does it have any form of influence on the people?
Oh, yeah, but in my opinion, very minute. Because, see, what afflicts us today has nothing to do with what the social media tells us. What afflicts me is my inability to pay my electricity bill, to be able to get water. And because I'm not able to pay water bill, some people come and cut your water, right? And yet you are here and you are told that government of Ghana owes. And nobody stops the government of Ghana from functioning. But when you owe, then they come at you as if it's something. People feel the pain. And that will determine what they are looking for. People are looking at the future. And in looking at the future, they look at their current circumstances to be able to gauge what the future will be like. Because if today you are a graduate and you don't have a job, and unfortunate for you, you have a wife and kid, and you are struggling to get a job, then you can begin to picture how the future of your children will look like. Because the space is closed. And so that will inform the kind of choices you will make. And so, yes, some of the people may go down to the ground and they are able to pick up the sentiments of the people and use that to formulate the polls.
Okay.
But some people that I know, they just sit in Accra at Laboni and then they make their projections. And have you seen that for a considerable period of time, Ben Epson's polls, they tend to flop. They tend to flop. And it is getting as if that anytime there is a change in power, or of power, then you see that his polls are tilting towards those in power. And
so you're saying his polls are biased?
No, anytime. Look, when Atta Mills was going to contest the elections, he was predicting that Akufo-Addo would win the elections in 2008. And Atta Mills won. Subsequent, if you go and take the Ben Epson polls, it shows that Atta Mills was in the lead. Then, of course, Atta Mills died along the line. Then the predictions were for John Mahama to win. Then in 2016, it was all about John Mahama winning, and then John Mahama lost. But you see, what it also does is that it gives hope when there is no hope. And for those who have been looking at the polls and they are like almost giving up, suddenly realize that after all, these polls nearly deceived them into doing the wrong thing. And so it's important to look at it. But for me and where I sit, look, media can do good, but it can do even damage. There are media houses that will not report the accuracy of what is pertaining on the ground. As Eben said, for whatever partisan reasons, and of course it's not peculiar to Ghana, but it is because majority of our media houses now are owned by persons with political affiliations. Almost every MP in their constituencies want to own a media house. almost every MP.
So do you think that there should be this, law where if you
You see,
belong to a political party, you can't own a media
There were
house?
limited media houses. There were limited media houses. And somehow, the media houses did their jobs. But somehow, because we decided to over-liberalize the airwaves, and you wanted local content for the people in various localities to also have news of their own. Because if there is something happening in Sankana, at some corner of Sankana, it will not take Joy or Multimedia to get to Sankana to be able to report it. And you may not report it in the language that the people understand.
But we have reporters on the ground.
But they will not speak the language that the people understand.
Our reporters speak their language.
No. If I go on a radio station and I start speaking Dagari,
right,
the Joy reporter there may not be able to speak Dagari proficiently. So once there is a local station where I can speak Dagari to expatiate on the issues at stake and tell the people who will consume my message, then you see that they will take it. Than for the thing to be composed in English and they are struggling to interpret it.
Bernard,
it is probably because of that.
It depends on the media house, because for we at Multimedia, all our reporters hail from those areas. So you look at, what's his name? Salam.
He comes from Upper West.
Yes.
And Salam speaks Sisali.
I don't know the language he speaks.
Okay, so he speaks Swahili. He understands Dagari. Does he speak fluent Sisali? No.
Okay.
Does he speak Lobi? No. Does he speak Dagara? No. And so if something is happening in a Dagara session, he may not pick it the way if you were a Dagara.
Okay.
Do you understand? If Anthony Cabo is speaking proper Dagara, or let me put it, Bid Zeden, or let me put it, Ambrose Derry, if they are speaking proper Dagara, you will go and stand there as a Dagao and you will not understand what they are talking about. If they are speaking in Brefo, Rafik Salam will not understand, despite that he hails from the region. And as you know, our regions are replete with various
languages,
dialects and languages. And so it's not like when you go to the Volta region, you can get majority of the people speaking away. When you come to Ashanti region, you can get... No, when you go to the northern parts, hey, the languages are multiple.
Okay.
And so I'm saying that it probably is because of that, that you have some of these media houses. But they are way too much. They are way too much because every MP, as I know, or almost every constituency want to have a media house.
Talking about way too much, let me come to you, Eben. You are party in government. What can be done about it? Because you've also complained about the numbers, which means that it's very concerning for a lot of people. You raised a point. When we look at political parties, almost every political party has a radio station. It left to you alone, a radio or TV station, a media house, let me put it like that. Left to you alone, it will be shut during elections because let's roughly say that one political party's media house reports a win for them. The other reports a win for the other. It will create a confusion. And it's very critical. So what can be done, or what do you suggest to be done aside, it being shut for that period?
I think that the best solution is to maybe 3-4 months to election, or maybe a month to election, those stations need to be shut. And let me give one example. I think either in 2012 or 2016, one of them, Radio Gold. Radio Gold is in my constituency. And what really happened there on election day was really bad.
What happened?
Because people thought that Radio Gold is putting up, in as much that I don't go there, does not mean that people should take advantage of it. But people feel that Radio Gold is giving an announcement, giving results, that they believe that it is not accurate. And people decided to move to Radio Gold. Then we have supporters of NDC who also believe this is our radio station. Let us also go and protect the place so you can see what will happen at the end of the day. That is why, for me, I believe that, look, the pro-political party stations it is not written that, oh, Joy Prime belongs to MPP or NDC. But we all know that this particular station is NDC station. This is MPP station. This is CPP station. This is PNC station. And all the pronouncements from those stations during elections always create problem.
Yeah.
Apart from the media houses and apart from what Bernard is saying, the civil society organizations also create a lot of problems. And people carried their information. Because, let me use example, Dr. Kwapon's place, CDD. People respect them a lot.
Yeah.
People respect Imani. People respect Dankwa Institute. There are a lot of civil society organizations that people respect them a lot. You can just imagine.
Not Dankwa Institute.
Not Duncan Institute. Duncan Institute is just a very biased.
No,
Maybe
I just kept quiet too.
Maybe Imani.
I just kept quiet.
I don't add
Is it
Dankwa.
because Dankwa Institute is owned by,
that is
It's not
You
a
see, you
credible
can
list.
talk about Imani, but don't mention.
Okay, well, Dankwa Institute is owned by an MPP person, so probably that's
it is an
why.
MPP.
that is your mind.
No,
let
I
me
know-
speak
wait,
my-
I know
no, not
that-
you. I'm
that's
talking about the
okay.
two of
That's
them.
the two of
So they should allow me to also speak.
Okay,
my mind.
yes,
Speak
please.
on.
I'm talking about Dankwa Institute, Imani, and the rest.
Well, we know
They come out.
But if Eben, you are the same person saying that when we look at the media houses, those affiliated to political parties, we should relook at them. When we look at these civil organizations as well, we look at CDD, we look at Imani. It's not affiliated to any political party, but Dankwa is.
So let me land.
Okay.
There are certain group of people, their utterances and things that they say in the name of the institutions that they represent gives you a different understanding of it.
Okay.
And let me give you one example, Franklin Kujo, Imani. In the mindset of many, and for me, I see him not to be a neutral person. And look, Dr. Apak, you can ask Apak. Apak is a very good friend of mine. In 2020, when I was contesting, Apak was then working at Legon. And he was called, just as you called Dr. Kwapo, and was giving analysis. And you realize that all the things Apak was saying was turning towards the NDC. Honestly, I get so upset. So when I met him in Parliament in 2016, I said, 2012, I hated you. I said, why? I said, look, because you were giving this analysis. And later, when I realized that you're an NDC person, then I said, that's the reason why you are giving the false information. And it cut across almost all of them. Just as Bernard said, there are some people who always resurrect when it's election time. Election was, after election, it has started, the campaign has started. From next month, it will be heated. And you see people will be coming out to be saying all manner of things. All because, in one way or the other, they belong to they have an affiliation to a political party. I have heard some people who say they are political commentators. They don't belong to any political party. But when they sit on radio and TV, you see where they belong.
I think that every sitting government feels that when somebody bashes them, you belong to the other party.
No.
It's not so?
No, it's not so.
Okay.
We are friends. We talk to each other. Sometimes I can come on radio, I finish with Bernard. We will stand, the number of hours we will spend here, we will spend more than that when we are, how do you call it, outside.
That is why he is coordinating my campaign.
Fantastic.
So at the end of the day, the comments being made by certain people also affects us a lot. For me, I still stand by it that, look, political parties should not be allowed. And you see, apart from even the radio stations, we have the community radio stations that people go there and campaign. As for those, excuse me to say, in the villages, what do you say? Somebody will be in a farm. But when you are the community station, whatever you say, the person will hear it. And it sometimes brings some fear and panic to the people. Because you can imagine that the scenario I was giving to you, Radio Good, all the people at Latabio Koshi, people will not be happy. In fact, I remember 2020 election, after the election, what the NDC did.
What did they do?
Oh, going on demonstrations and then burning ties and all these things. You can imagine that if a pro-MPP station the kind of reports that he will be giving. Oh, don't use this stretch. When you use this stretch and you are this thing, this is what is going to happen. Meanwhile, maybe it might not be so.
Yeah.
So for me, I believe that, look, this election, not only this particular election, but our major elections, we need to be very critical at it and see how best we can deal with issues as it is. Some of your colleagues, sometimes their comments and their commentaries on the station, they believe that they have the rights. They sit on the console, so therefore that person can say whatever he or she wants. And then he sits there and then be throwing some jars to people. And you see, it creates a lot of problems.
It does.
So as for the media, to be honest with you, this election, yet in as much the political parties are part, in as much that the EC is part, those who can create the confusion most
is the media.
The media.
I'll come to you, Gideon. Let me read a few messages. And it reads, good morning to you. We are beginning to better understand the type of democracy we are currently practicing that is making us judge and ask relevant questions pertaining the action and inaction of the government of the day. But one thing we are finding it difficult to ensure or lacking is proper accountability and corruption-free society. Love, Ero, Bebako, Kokomisa. Okay. So... this one says, good morning, Madam Host and your able panelists. Please tell the NPP man, just as David Asante of Let My Vote Count scammed us Ghanaians as being independent, and we later found out that he's an NPP man. UK1 at TV Ekwewu. Is it true? All right, so we have this one coming in. Good morning. The media would serve us better if you guys will serve us facts as happened and not nationalism and party-induced opinions. Listen to the media nowadays, and I see Ghana is on fire and the rest of the world are in heaven. The media is now regime change against agents rather than giving us the true picture. Okunini Kweku Poku, all right.
What is Occupy Ghana now?
Good morning, Roslyn. I want to know which political party has ever decided not to break the 8. Slogans have become the order of the day for NPP. As for Ghanaians, we are breaking the 8. Eben, I'll come back to you, okay? Let me finish this. As for Ghanaians, we are breaking the 8 years of corruption, nepotism, taxes, incompetence, lies, etc. from Kweku Willie, Cape Coast. Thank you, Kweku Willie. All right, good morning. Greetings to Honorable Mavis Hawa MP for Kaswa and the MCE. NDC have nothing good for Ghanaians. Vote DMB 2024 for movement Kaswa. Okay. Good morning, Madam Host. This year's elections, we don't need any honeymoon person to lead this country. And who finished the dead goat living the bones? Now the dead goat is alive and full of flesh. So he should better sit at home and playing with his grandchildren with the ex-gracias he took, Official One. And Madam Host, please, can you host 24-hour in your TV station? We do it all the time, darling. All right. Let's see what we have. Good morning, Rose. I think it's time. Some media stations should be shut down, okay? And also, I belong to a school of thought that during election, all party stations should be shut down, okay? XYZ, One to Me, or Man FM. Oh, Media Journal is not part of any political party. Power FM, and this coming from Kubako Junior Mansumim. Well, Kubako, please. Okay, I think, have I done it? Alasan says Zenu from Central, Zenu Central says, in fact, some of the media houses discuss issues partisan more than the political parties themselves, and sometimes it's boring listening to them, especially the local media stations, due to their irritating nature of them. I don't listen or watch those stations. Okay. Good morning to you, madam, and to your guests. The role of media is indeed very important in every democratic governance, but the role played by our media in our jurisdiction is full of hatred, character assassination, and favoritism towards the party they believe. It is for them. But, madam, I totally disagree with those having mentality that J.J. Rawlings was not ready for democracy. In fact, it's not true and can never be true. I pity those with that mentality. The fact is that Ghanaian media were all against Rawlings, but a tree planted by nature can never be destroyed by an enemy. Sumani Hamza. All right, Sumani. Let me see. I think, yes, let me read this one. Good morning, host. It's sad that the president used the... No, that's not... Okay. Let me do this one. Hi, Rose. Certainly, it's true that media has lost its credibility and relevance because the press is now populated by imposters and political spin doctors who falsify stories to favor their paymasters. No doubt, publications from Ghanaian newspapers are not accepted as credible sources of information for academic work at the universities. Ghanaian media is too partisan or biased and not fit for purpose. All right, I think that'll be all. Okay, let me do this one, and I've done this one, so I think, okay, madam, please tell the NPP man the multimedia supported the NPP in 2016, and so that's what I'm going to ask you. I'm coming to you, Gideon, about that. Now, they feel, I said, multimedia supported the NPP in 2016 and 2020, and every discerning Ghanaian know what I'm saying. Also, why were the media at Nanado's residence instead of the office of the EC, UK1 at TV? So this is what it is. Now, when the media is being very, how do I put it? Very truthful about what is on the ground. We don't like the truth. Everybody thinks that the media is against them because they are speaking facts on the ground. And so in 2016, the NDC actually, were really upset with some media houses. Multimedia was one of them, saying that we contributed to their loss. And now it's the NPP's turn. Sometimes they even boycott some media houses because they feel the media house is against them. Gideon.
But yes, you have boycotted some media houses. For almost 3 to 4 years that you don't go to Peace FM.
Of course, I mean, because of the disrespect.
Peace FM.
They don't go to.
No.
They go to.
Yes, because.
But I was on the floor.
No. This is my time. It's my time. It's my time now. No, but it's my time.
No, just 2 minutes. Just 1 minute. Just 1 minute. Just 1 minute. Just 1 minute.
No, it's 1 minute to.
No, just 1 minute. No, just 1 minute. Somebody said their sanity deceived them to join Let My Vote Count. When you get to an election, you have a lot of groups being formed in the name and the interest of the political parties that they believe in. After NDC won the 2008 election, CJA is nowhere to be found.
Okay.
No, Occupy Ghana is nowhere to be found.
Okay.
Because most of these groups, at the end of the... That's why I don't belong to them.
Okay, let me come to...
Ghana is simple.
Let me come to you now. Yes.
You see, Rose, what we need to understand is that before I even deal with this, I read someone mention about this 24-hour economy. I mean, I always want to encourage Ghanaians that John Mahama is bringing the 24-hour. Oh, let me lie. No, you had your time. You had your time.
No, you had your time.
You had your time.
You allowed.
No.
They can't explain.
No. Where's the statement? Are you serious? Really?
Gideon, please make your point.
The 24 hours from the comments what one of your those who texted sent you. It is clear that 24-hour economy has come to stay. John Mahama. It's all about jobs. As we speak, there are no jobs. And as my senior brother Bernard said, when you wake up in the morning, you're a graduate, and you don't have a job, but you are married with kids, you can project how or the future of your children. And that is what John Mahama wants to claim.
So you go to court in the evening?
Oh, you had your time. I beg you.
I want to know whether you go to court in the evening.
I beg
Please let him land.
I beg you.
24 hours.
I beg you.
When you were talking, he didn't say anything.
Okay.
Please, thank you.
Well,
it is all about jobs.
What is this romantic thing?
Jobs. And jobs will lead to productivity, right? It is not, we are not going to promise taxation, productivity, and before you realize it's taxation upon taxation, unlike this government. And that is what John Mama is trying to seek. Look, once there's a 24-hour economy policy that comes to bear, there's going to be jobs. To the extent that at least companies that will subscribe to that policy are going to be given some incentives. It is not the matter of course, I know the defense of the MPP will say that the 24-hour economy has already started, but they are not benefiting anything from government in terms of electricity tariff and what have you. And that is where John Mama is saying that once you subscribe to the policy, right, you will be given some benefits to the extent that when there's peak, the powers which is peak, you are going to be given some subsidies. And so clearly, there's going to be some incentives and many more. And so, yes, I just want to clear that issue. And also the fact that once the person indicated about 24 hours. But back to what you asked me. Freedom of the press. It will be unconscionable to say that some media houses should be shut. We came from somewhere as a country and where we are today. Those days, I mean, of course, my senior brothers are older than me. But those days when you switch on the TV, it's only GTV you see. And maybe Metro, right? But now we have many. We've come from somewhere.
Multimedia has been here for a very long time.
Exactly. So I'm saying that freedom of the press, what we should be preaching about is that these media houses who will go overboard must be brought to order and be guided or be cautioned to do their work professionally. You cannot stop anyone from setting up a media house. The fact that I belong to a political party does not mean that my right to set up a media house should be infringed upon. What the regulatory body should do is to ensure that when you set up your media house, it should be done professionally, not to raise people's raise tension and maybe get people angry and provoke people, or do things in a way that will bring instability to the country. That is all that matters. Because look, the churches that are also setting up their media houses, does it mean that a time will come and say, okay, since the churches are too many and the prophecies are too many, we should shut them? No, because there's freedom of the press. And as I said, many years ago, when you switch on your TV, you only have like 4 or 5 channels. Now you have many that you can decide to change. Even if you don't buy a satellite dish, right? You know that you can have as many as 100 stations that you can switch to. So
how do you control what is said on these media houses?
But that's why you have a regulatory body.
So you see, with what even Mr. Kwapon, Dr.
Yes.
Kwapon said,
Yes.
A media house made a submission. Mm-hmm. It wasn't corrected until after the show happened. Mm-hmm. So, yes, sometimes you have a regulatory body.
But that is the job of the regulatory body. Yes. So the regulatory body ought to sit up. Because, you see, you cannot stop people from having a media house. That is part of your right as a Ghanaian. So what must be done is the regulatory body setting up and making sure that the media houses that are many, right, are regulated in such a way they act professionally. If we want to talk about shutting the media house, it means the regulatory body is incompetent. That's what we want to say. Because whether we like it or not, we have come a very long way. And the point is that it is even good that there are many media houses that, I mean, at any point in time you can resort to. Go away those days where there were even few media houses. Once these media houses are captured by the government, that's it. It means they will go in an angle that the government wants them to do. That's not the case anymore. You cannot ask any media house to support government if they think government is being incompetent, like this government. Obviously, you will see media houses saying their peace of mind that, yes, this is what is the reality on the ground. Imagine, you can see when, Baumia was giving his unuseful address. He captured all the media, but not all of them. The one that he was doing the campaign, he
gave his
address. But what? I mean, of course, it was not that useful. That's why we bashed him. But
that is to you.
Yes,
he gave his address.
That's from where I sit.
So he gave his address.
Yes, he gave his address. But from where I sit, I'm saying that it was not useful.
Yeah, exactly. When you started it, you actually didn't
okay. So from where I sit, it was not useful. But you could notice that he made attempt to capture many of the media houses. and try to indicate that whichever channel, whichever TV you turn to, you will be listening to him. But it didn't stop other media houses from, making their, giving their opinions. And so what we should focus on should be the regulatory bodies of the media houses. That is, they should rather up their game and ensure that things are done professionally. And I don't think that where we are today. Now, you spoke about posts. Should you have posts anymore? You see, of course, we it's unfortunate that Ben Epstein has not, so far, or I mean, these days, when he brings out any prediction, it becomes like
But the latest one happened though. He predicted Baumia's win as a flag bearer.
Oh, but that one, it was obvious.
Now, by what percentage?
It was obvious. You see?
By what percentage?
You see, look, Bruce, anyone who did not support Baumia, one way or the other, was punished. And has been punished by this government. No, for that one, you either
well, we don't know that for a fact.
No, but you see, no, you don't know that for a fact. But once you observe, you will notice that anyone who did not support Baumia either supported.
I don't know that for a fact.
No. So I'm not saying. I'm telling you that there are many MCs who were removed. Those who were reshuffled. The notion was that some of those MCs in that constituency. Well, I'm telling you that for a fact. It is not an allegation. I'm telling you for a fact that those constituencies did not support the candidates. Did not support the candidate of Baumia. So obviously, one way or the other, it was obvious that Baumia was going to win. Of course, maybe it was about the margin. But everyone in MPP knew that you either support Baumia or you're out.
We hear you.
So, but what I'm trying to put across is that as for polls is just like giving an opinion, right? Anyone here can do his own polls and give an opinion. It's an opinion, right? It's just like once you give your opinion and that opinion seems to go in a certain way, you become credible. Now, Global Analytics, as I'm sure I got the name right, are the ones leading now. I mean, they are giving their polls, and it is actually hitting the nail right on the head, right? Any of us here, because I don't think there's even a qualification in terms of being a poster. I can wake up one morning, once I go to the grounds, because the point is that if you want the reality of what is happening, you must go to the grounds. That is where you hear it. On social media, I mean, you can always sit anywhere and then just write, maybe, are you comfortable? Are you content with the performance of this government? Yes, no, I mean, Twitter and all that. But that will really not show the reality, because a lot of people are really not on social media to give their opinion. But once you go on the grounds and you do a proper sample size survey, you will get to know the truth. And that one is undeniable, because once you even get out down here, just down here, and you even ask the ordinary Ghanaian, he'll tell you what he's facing. And so as for polls, it is even good. It is very, very good for our democracy, so that at least we'll get opinions from various angles. And you, the voter, you look at it, do you weigh it and decide.
And make a decision on it. Anyway, we could have a message coming in from Honorable Timothy Awantrim Atabuade. He says, Honorable said in 2020, NDC demonstrated and bent ties. When MPP goons demonstrated and became unruly, beat up journalists and destroyed private properties, including cars, and bystanders were harassed, a delegation led by Honorable Nana Akomia went to media houses to shamefully apologize. Where was my honorable? Okay. And he also says that today was the state of the Ghanaian media under President Nana Addo Dankwa and the NPP. This happened before they proceeded to court with their pink sheet and wasted 8 months.
Actually, what happened to Onuya TV? What were you doing to them? Onuya TV and what were you doing to them? Writing, asking them to, I mean, so this government should be spoken to. And this government should be spoken to in terms of the media.
Bernard, let me ask you this. How can we get political parties to refrain from influencing media houses? Because this is a very crucial election.
You have a daunting task. When political personalities own media houses, how do you expect them to refrain from influencing them? When Kennedy Ajapong owns a media house, and you are going to work in that media house.
One to me, who owns a media.
And Kennedy is contesting for flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party. Then you go and sit down there and say that Kennedy is not fit to be flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party. You continue to have your job. Wontumi goes and then opens his mouth like diarrhea looking for the landlord in a compound house. Talk things that he's not supposed to say about tradition. And then you sit at his media houses, because as you know, it's not only in Accra, he has some in Tamale and other places. And you say that as one of the presenters, I disagree with my boss and CEO. This one, he did not speak well. The next day, you continue to have your job. It's not possible. It's not possible at all. What we ought to do is that those other media houses, and particularly the state media houses, that have a responsibility for fair coverage, which was a decision by the New Patriotic Party versus the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation. The court's decision in that if Ghana Broadcasting Corporation gives 5 minutes to NDC, they must give 5 minutes to the MPP and give 5 minutes to the PNC, and so on and so forth. That will be fair, because that is the state and it's a public broadcaster. But can we come to Joy and say that you should do the same thing? Because you are privately owned. So we cannot come and compel you that as a private media house, once you have decided to give NDC live coverage, and you did not take anything, you gave MPP live coverage. When our upcoming Congress is due, you must give us live coverage. With which mouth are we going to say so? We only have to come and beg if you can provide that. We don't have the capacity to influence what you are going to say. So it's difficult for you to say that, look, political parties should stay off the influences of the media houses, particularly when those media houses, how they are funded, how they pay their staff, how they equip their studios. And your studio is one of the fantastic studios I've
Thank you
come.
so much.
And so the investment in this studio, you want to find a way to recoup it. And it's not for me to come and tell you that, look, you are not doing your job right. You determine your editorial policy. So it's also the case that, hey, if you have to tilt to a particular political angle, and from there you'll be able to survive as a media house, people will go that way. There are individuals within the various media houses that may decide that they want to do their job professionally, but sometimes they do it at the peril of their jobs. Because as soon as you come out to do the things that you have said, then they call the hey, boss, you are allowing this person to do this against us, given our relationship, and the next time you are called off the show. I remember a certain lady recently, on one, I think Angel or somewhere. She said that there was a direct call that asked her that no.
Oh, I think I saw that interview.
Yeah, that the president insisted that no, she cannot continue to anchor the program. And the CEO feared because of her pronouncement and things. He said you had Ghana Revenue Authority and every other institution pushing on the CEO until she was relieved of her job. Then the man realized that, oh, after all, there could be peace. They may not come directly at you, but they know which institutions they can set on you. And then, hey, you are there. If you owe, for instance, if you owe ECG, and because of the angle with which you handle your programs, they decide that, no, we have checked that you owe, they will come and put off your lights.
They may disconnect it.
They disconnect it immediately. And then you have to take the trouble. Probably it's not even that much. But for you to get reconnected may take you a hell of time.
Anyway.
Do you understand? So those are the challenges. So I think that it's difficult, particularly when you have some of the media houses are timid. They are not able to stand up to their professional etiquettes. Gone are the days, but you cannot say that is so for all the journalists, where you could see the like of Amilcar Cabral You could see Kweku Baku Jr., you could see Kwesi Pratt. They did not care a hoot as to whether they were going to be in prison or otherwise. Kweku
They were very vocal.
Slept in jail for about 11 times. Kwesi Pratt went to jail for speaking his mind on issue about 14 times. You understand? Amilcar Cabral, and they did not run away. They suffered the consequences of their free expression. How many journalists today?
Anyway, I'll come back to this. Don't worry, Eben, I'll come to you. Like I said earlier, we are launching our election headquarters today, and it's not happening here. It's happening at the AMA forecourt. Want to cross over to take a look at what is happening. My colleagues have spoken to the police force, have spoken to some market women. So let's take a look at what they actually did say.
But you're traders, you do business. What sort of changes are you expecting that the next leader of our country would bring to your business?
Okay, as traders, we want modernization. We want some improvement in our structures, in our businesses, so that we'll move on. You see, we can't be at one place all the time. We have to move on. And by moving on, there should be some changes. For example, if you look at the shopping malls that are cropping out, they are now becoming a thorn in our flesh. Because if you go there, they have parking spaces, where air-conditioned stores and so on. But the markets, the traditional markets, play a very big role in the trading business in our country. Because if it's a very fertile place for tourism, because if somebody is coming into the country, the person is not coming to look at the shopping mall. They have better ones in their country. But they want to come to the market, look at the market setup, the bargaining business, the straw hat, and the market woman on their seat doing business. So it is a very good tourist attraction. And we have to upgrade ourselves. Upgrading ourselves means we have to change our lifestyle. We have to be informal.
Right.
We are informal setup, but we have to make it formal by doing our things formally. So what I'm praying is, if we have a change of our attitude, a change of how we meet our customers, a change how we bargain with our customers, the respect and the atmosphere will be. Let's take it. If you are in the market, you are a businesswoman. You are in the market. You are working. You are a worker. It's not what work are you doing? Oh, I don't do any work. Oh, I'm in the market. Market is a working place. Our grandmothers have been there. Our mothers have been there. Now we are there.
So you want the traders to approach it
like a proper business.
Right. But would you need help in that area? Because it's interesting you talk about the shopping malls coming up and the sort of changes that you want to see with our traditional markets. And it's also very interesting how you identify it as a tourist attraction, which is indeed true. So what exactly do you want these leaders, those who want to lead us, what do you want them to do practically?
I, as the president of Greater Accra Market Association, we want our markets to be renovated. We should have proper car parks. We should have educational system in the market, health system in the market, fire service in the market, police in the market.
You have fire service at Makola?
Yes, but not all the markets. We have lots of markets that will have to run about 2 miles before they get to fire service. They should be with us because the place is so congested. Anything at all can happen. So if they are at hand, as we have in Mokola, it's good for us. And also, we want proper educational system, day nurseries and in the market, so that we bring our children, we send them to the schools, like we have in Mokola. It seems as if Mokola is in the center of the business center. So we have got lots of the important things. But go to other markets, they don't have anything. So I'm pleading with the DCEs at those markets to upgrade. They can upgrade so that our members there will also feel comfortable like those in the business centers.
I went to Malamata not too long ago. Some of the women were not interested in voting because they said that, well, they all say the same things, but when they come, they don't do anything for us. What have you noticed in terms of the conversations going on around the women in the market? Are they interested in this election?
What I would say is Malata is a very old market. It has been in the systems. It's one of the markets that were built. And when you went there, what did you see? What did you see there to make somebody who is there for 40 years to take a decision? There's no change. So we are saying they should, so they should change the places for us, build new markets, improve what we have. Then we will know that, something is going on. So if I use all my time and all my energy to go and queue from 2 a.m. to 7 a.m. and vote, at least I'll get some sort of change in my life. But notwithstanding, I would never advise any market woman or man not to go and vote.
Elections headquarters is being launched today. That's my colleague Mama V, who was having a conversation with the Queen Mother of the market woman. Of course, they are promising that it will be a very peaceful election. And the police also had a conversation with her, and they did also say that looking at the past elections that we've had very, very successful, peaceful elections. And we expect nothing but peaceful elections this 2024. That's December 2024. We are speaking on the role of, the media in our elections. Let me quickly go on Facebook, read a few comments, and then I come back to the studio to speak with my guest. Daniel Tranza Opon says, good morning. When I see Bernard Morna and Honorable Eben on your show, I feel happy. I learned so many things on this show. Daniel Opon, okay. And he continues saying, I really admire Bernard Morna. He always criticizes when he has to. He's always fair in his assessment. Dr. Baumia will need him in his government. Bernard, will you accept it? Anyway, Awa also says that under John Mahama's government...
KMG will agree.
Awal says that under John Mahama's government coming 2025, we shall build the cargo service center at the Tamale Airport to enhance exploitation of agricultural produce through the airport, and it's going to work 24 hours. Okay. Eric Jesse says, Honorable Eben, the landlord of Ablekuma Central Constituency, good delivering on point. Aaron Bebako Komisa, good morning to you. We are beginning to better understand the type of democracy. I think I already read this one on WhatsApp. Daniel again says, good morning, please greetings to Honorable Eben. Daniel Apia says so. And Osmanu Moment says, good submissions from Honorable Eben and Bernard Morna. Indeed, ABC is blessed having Honorable Eben. The other people can still explain the 24 hours. Okay, Sir John Bososo said, it's sad the incompetent Baule Mia wants Ghanaians to make him president, forgetting the promise not to borrow money to develop Ghana, but later found himself borrowing from Paris Club, $2 billion US. Chinese government, $1.9 billion US. Non-Paris Club members, $3.8 billion US. Chapel Town, $2.5 billion US. $8.8 billion to the IMF and others as well. Okay, so Ghanaians are above these lies. And that will be it. Okay, Eben, your submission, final submission.
President, my brother was talking that somebody said something about 24 hours economy. And the question I asked myself, the NDC, former ministers, members of parliament, communicators, national executives are finding it very difficult, extremely difficult to explain.
It's not true.
Their so-called 24 hours economy. Even you sitting here,
it's not true.
You are even finding it very difficult to tell us what the 24-hour economy means.
Really, it's not true, really.
You said I should keep quiet when we were talking, so please keep quiet. That's why I asked you. So 24-hour economy, will you be going to the court around 10 p.m. to handle somebody's case? Because, and I keep on asking, which of the sector of the economy are you going to run at 24 hours? Because the ones that you can mention, they already run a 24 hours economy. Joy Prime, you work 24 hours. Now they say, oh, fufu seller and washi seller will be running 24 hours.
It's not true.
Go to Kumasi today.
It's not true.
Get to Kumasi at 11 p.m. You get fufu to eat in Kumasi. 12 a.m. you get fufu to eat. If only you want to eat fufu late like me, you get fufu to eat. So where's the 24 hours economy?
Okay.
You talk about political media houses and how political parties treat media houses as well as reporters. In the full glimpse of your presidential candidate at the Jubilee House, Stan Dogbe, what did he do to a reporter? In the full glance of the John Mahama, you couldn't say anything about it. We have radio station that belongs to...
But we are still waiting on NPP to say something about what has happened with regards to Honorable Hawa Kumsin and also, what's his name?
She herself, accompanied by the Deputy Minister for Information, now the Deputy Minister for Information, have met your president last week. Unless you tell me you are not aware of it. She herself, minister, she went to have a meeting with them. That whatever have transpired, and what was the crime? They said the person who attacked the media person was in her T-shirt. Yeah. So because of that, that's the issue. And she has gone there to settle the issue with them. We have people in NDC. Have you listened to Julius Debra station before? Have you listened to...
Which one is the station?
Accra FM. Have you listened to Ahunto FM that belongs to...
for Julius Debra. It's not for Julius Debra.
I'll find a name for you. Have you listened to Ahunto FM that belongs to Ofosambofu? Have you listened to it? Have you listened to Radio Gold that belongs to the... how do you call it? The one has been jailed.
You take somebody's property and give it to another person and sit free.
Whose property?
Julius Debra doesn't own.
Whose property?
He doesn't know what crime.
No, he said he didn't get a name. He said he's corrected.
Ofosambofu holds Ahunto FM.
And you say he went to jail?
I said Radio Gold.
Radio Gold.
And I was...
Say Radio Gold.
What is his name?
No. He's not the owner. He's not the owner.
No, Mugabe.
He's not the owner.
Can you allow me?
Proceed.
Make your point. Make your point, please.
For the correction.
But Julius hold a radio station.
But it's not Accra FM.
Yes.
I do know that Accra and Class FM are owned by a businessman called Seidu.
Yes.
And Seidu what?
It's Alaji Seidu something.
And
I don't know something.
And Seidu, which party does he belong?
I'm saying that, but you are
which
taking somebody's property.
No, I said that Ahunto FM belongs to Ofosambofu.
Okay. Which you have not denied.
Yes.
Because I know that as a fact.
Yes. And I said, have you listened to that before?
Yes.
Listen to Ahunto FM.
I go there.
Listen to Radio Good. And the things that they say on Radio Good. That one, Bernard and my brother don't hear about it.
I go to every media house. I go.
You talk about people.
I go to Net 2. I go to Omai.
You have stopped.
You go everywhere.
I go there.
You have stopped.
Why? I don't get up and go to radio stations.
They call you.
If you don't invite me.
Okay.
You understand? Right. When they invite me, I go.
Let Eben make his
program
point.
on Saturday.
Eben, please make a point.
So, if we have political parties, owners, leaders of a political party, what do you expect the host of Ahunto FM, the projection of this year's election? Definitely, who said things that he himself know. That this radio station that belongs to the one who was doing the fertilizer, XYZ. Listen to it and you see what they say there. I mean, things that you believe that will create problem.
But if you listen to One to Me Radio, same.
That's why I'm saying that the state that belongs to the political parties. When you come to those that, like yours.
The neutral ones, ours.
Neutral in quotes. Because some of your people are not neutral.
Oh, we are.
And let me give you one example. Your own station, Joy News.
Hey, what?
Yes.
They haven't done anything.
When there was an issue that at the police headquarters, that a media person was attacked. The following weekend, I came to, but that's why sometimes like that, later I even stopped going there. When the incident happened at the NDC conference, youth conference in Cape Coast, and media people were beaten, they never talk about it. I even sent them a message. Look, you need to be oh, please.
Oh, by
get it. Let me make his point.
You need to be neutral. But when you decided to go on a tangent that I will see you, because you sitting not because of the way you are handling the thing, but since I started coming to Joy Prime, I'm finding it very difficult to see the political party that you belong. To be honest with you, I'm finding it very difficult.
You don't know where.
I'm finding it very difficult. She belongs to me. I am surprised.
She belongs to us, my friend, because I'm the campaign manager. Unless you are taking me out of the party.
Now you are speaking.
I'm finding it very difficult.
Now
you know exactly where you stand, whether NDC or MPP. But to be honest and sincere with you, some of your people, not only multimedia, but most of the radio stations and the TV stations that we have, when a person is talking, we are not saying you don't criticize the government. No, but you can see the clear. And sometimes you meet some of your colleagues. Now the way Rosemary was talking, Rosemary or NDC, your own colleague from the same station, MPP. So then you know that So me, to be honest with you, there are some stations when I'm being asked to go, I always ask who are the panel and who is the host. So when I'm being told who the host is, I prepared myself. Because I know either it will be 2 against 1, or 3 against 1, or 4 against 1. In fact, yesterday when I even posted today's program, flyer on my status, and somebody sent it to me, 3 against 1. Now I asked, which one is the 3? It's so the NDC, Bernard, and then Doc. I said, but how do you know Doc affiliation? Moreover, Bernard is not coming to represent, how do you call it, NDC or PNC. He's coming on his own. But you see the perception out there. Because Bernard will not speak or dance to the music of MPP, he's being seen as opposition. But it shouldn't be so.
But I'm indeed opposition.
It shouldn't be so.
Anyway.
So for me, I think that
there cannot be anything about me being in opposition. I'm not in government.
So you're
my duty is to correct and to shape policies.
How many people knows this?
If I speak on the issues and you are uncomfortable about it, it is not my making.
Exactly.
I am not supposed to make you comfortable.
Exactly.
Anyway.
So that's a perception.
We'll correct. We'll try and find out, which journalist did that. We'll find out and then correct it. We'll find out after the show. Right. Which journalist was beaten by the NDC at the headquarters? Which
it's a lie.
The NDC and youth conference. I don't reporter. Go and check.
Okay.
I don't reporter.
He was beaten.
Okay. Anyway.
I don't reporter.
Look.
And when it comes to even Joy Prime, the same Joy Prime were beaten by Sam Dogbe at the Jubilee House.
Hey, propaganda.
John Mahama was even standing there where he did that.
Hey.
All this
Let me go
Rose, what I need to clear this air about this 24-hour economy issue. No one under the NDC is suffering about explaining the 24-hour economy policy. Let me just remind him that we have promised that the agro-processing sector is going to enjoy the 24-hour economy. The pharmaceutical industry is also going to enjoy. Let me learn. The manufacturing industry is also going to enjoy the 24-hour economy policy. The construction sector, same as the extractive industry. The sanitation and waste management sector. I beg.
No, you also
I beg. Let me land. But when I was talking, when I finish,
please.
Once I finish, I will tell you why. Now,
we have barely
same
2 minutes
as
to
the financial services and the transportation. He wasn't listening to me. I indicated that there are going to be intense incentives such as taxes, right? As well as financial support. Oh, let me learn.
Okay, please. Gideon, make a point.
It's financial support. Now, look, whether we like it or not, this policy is a novelty. It has never happened before. They are keep on saying fufu, wache, and what have you. But even if it is happening now, what have these government, what have they done to support those who are even doing it 24 hours? Even Joy Prime here, what have you done for them? Have you even pumped some money into their business? That is what John Mama is saying. That those who are already practicing 24-hour economy, they are going to enjoy tax incentives, electricity incentives, and even financial, support to boost whatever they are doing. Don't forget that this 24-hour economy thing that John Mama is introducing, it has worked in Germany, it has worked in France, it has worked in the UK, it has worked in the US. And when he was in power, he set up the Accra Digital Center. As you speak, it's open 24 hours. He set up the Accra Digital Center is the biggest business processing outsourcing center in the country. It's doing 24-hour, operation. Same as the Meridian Port Service, which is the biggest in West Africa. It is also, doing the 24-hour, operation. Ghana Gas is doing same. And Terminal 3 of Kotoka, which you are always, you are also enjoying same. When you are traveling, when you're member of parliament, you are traveling, you use that Terminal 3, 24/7. So what are you talking about here? That was when John Mama was even president. These institutions were doing 24/7. And now he's coming to say that when he's voted to power, he's going to expand it, include the pharmaceutical industry, agro-processing, construction, manufacturing industry, extractive industry, transportation services.
All right.
It's not the one that you people have taken. No.
The
It's not the one that you people have taken and you are saying for you. Like Ayalolo.
Gideon.
I'm telling you.
That's why I say
Terminal 3.
You can't even
Terminal 3.
Gideon and
Are you the one contacting?
Are you the one that is 6? It doesn't matter.
Relax. Can I have some decorum here, please, gentlemen?
You can't even explain it.
Please, gentlemen.
You see?
Yes.
Airport that you
You're not paying attention.
One at a time.
You are not paying attention.
One at a time. Eben.
Everyone listening to me.
Eben, please. Eben. Please.
Terminal 3.
Gideon, make
I
a
don't
point.
contact Terminal 3. I don't want. Another one. We did Terminal 3.
Okay.
And it's operating 24/7 because of the visionary thinking of John Mama. What can we say about this useless government? Okay. You have done nothing.
All right.
This 24-hour academy, it has come to stay.
All right.
And look, let me tell you something. Every businessman or woman wants to enjoy.
Now watch this.
Can you imagine when you're a businessman enjoying tax incentives?
Okay.
When government is supporting financial and electricity?
I never knew that
Okay.
the airport was closed
All right.
down.
Thank you so much.
If today,
Gentlemen,
Joy Prime
it's okay.
is being given
Gideon,
financial
point well
support,
made.
tax incentives,
Gideon.
and even electricity, would they be
Gideon, point well made.
for them?
Point well
You have
made.
not done one city yet.
Gentlemen, point well made. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, gentlemen. Bernard, please make your point. Eben and Gideon, please.
Explain.
Because
you are not listening.
At 10, at 11, at 12.
No.
And you're talking about the airport.
Can you
Terminal
please?
3, I don't know built it. Terminal 3 is not about
What
the
are you going
airport.
to do with 24 hours?
Gentlemen,
What are you talking about? You don't know what I'm talking about.
Gideon, we don't do that here. No, we don't do that here. Please. Gentlemen, please.
I hear you.
Let's exercise some decorum. No. Let's exercise some decorum here. Thank you very
I'm very
much.
disappointed.
No, gentlemen, please.
After using the airport.
Gideon, thank you. Bernard.
This is unbelievable. We are discussing the role of the media.
Yes.
And we go into something else.
And then all of a sudden, the Duke Adaya have decided to...
We are waiting for justice for Ameswali. Yeah,
Can I? Gideon.
Let's not take it
Yes.
off, please.
So I think that it's important that we concentrate on the subject matter. I'm sure there will be a day for issues
The
of
selling of
infrastructure.
exactly.
But importantly, this Saturday, come Saturday, all of you are invited
Sure.
to the 22nd edition of the Danjua Festival
Oh, that's nice.
of the Bimuba people, to be held at the Pipra School Park. Most of you would know that Danjua is a mountain, the range,
Okay.
that was used as the dependable mountain that saved the Moab people from the persecutors. And every year when you come, you learn very powerful stories of our history and our making. And so this weekend, instead of sitting in the studios and be making hot air, Gideon, Eben, and you, Ruth.
Yeah, we'll be there. We'll try and be there. So
not that you try, you must be there.
Where exactly is it
Because I will
happening?
tell Naba Dazur. This is in the Timpani district.
Okay.
That I have personally invited you on his authority.
Okay.
And
So is it the whole weekend?
Yes, all the chiefs of
Okay.
Bimoba land will be there.
Oh, that's
so
nice.
starting from Bumprugu, Nakpanduri, Bankwoni, all of them
Okay.
will be there. And they have heard me invite you and
Oh,
Joy
David.
Prime
So
to
when
be
we
there.
get to when we get to Tamale Airport, from that place to your place, how many hours?
Oh, it's about 3 hours.
Okay.
It's about 3 hours. But the car you use, it can take you less.
I can't drive to that place.
The roads are, you know,
I can't drive.
thanks to John.
You can drive. I will
Thanks to
come
John Mama. Roads is there.
I will
so don't
come
worry.
and take you.
Your V8.
You're laughing, eh?
It will go
I will
smooth.
come to Tamale Airport personally to
go
welcome
there
all of
smooth.
you.
We'll be
Take
there.
your
Mama.
grandeur.
We'll be
He
there.
did it.
Thank you so much for being here, gentlemen. We are super grateful that you could make
he
time.
pushes V8.
So I want to say a big thank you to Bernard Morna. I don't know if I should say you still represent the PNC.
Oh, I am a PNC.
Yes.
And
So
I will
Bernard
be
Morna
the
will-
presidential candidate.
Very
for the
soon.
party
Inshallah.
with,
Very soon.
Eben as my campaign.
And Honorable Ebenezer Nate, who represented the NPP, and of course, Gideon Tete, Esquire, represented the NDC. Thank you so much,
I just
gentlemen, for being
received
here.
sad
Super
news. I
grateful.
don't know whether it's true that
What?
my women's organizer is resigning from the party.
Oh,
And
no.
I'm not happy at all.
I'm sure you can.
I will call her.
Yeah,
immediately
please
after.
call her. Yes. This has been all for News Flash segment. Let's not forget that we are launching elections headquarters right here on multimedia, and it's actually, you know, something that tells you that will bring you, gentlemen. Please, I'm making my point. Thank you so much. No, I'm not speaking about Ameswali. That's not the topic for today. That is not our topic for today. Thank you so much. So no, it's not our topic. So we are launching our elections headquarters today, and so it's very vital that you know that we will give you every nitty-gritty with regards to elections 2024. So make sure that your dial is none other than on multimedia, either the radio stations or on our TV stations. We give you the local channels and we give you the English channels as well. So we serve you across board. Enjoy everything that we bring to you with regards to election, because we will give you the most credible information. My name is Rosalyn Felly. We'll take a quick break on this note. We have other conversations coming your way. Do stay.